Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tech Productions. Today I'm back off being joined once again by, I almost said Jimmy, but it's Jake, and like always, Fluff.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, beautiful people?
And like always, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them, they're there for a reason. Today's matchup is King Cole versus Toppo Lock. Jake is taking his hand at King Cole, while Fluff is bringing back Toppo Lock. Now, before we get too far into the match, we have not received our anniversary boxes yet. And Fluff really wanted to try this out, just to see if it's still worth playing or not. So Fluff is proxying 3 cards, and only 3 cards, which are the anniversary 4-drop Toppos, if correct. That will be on the screen. And so when you see that, we don't normally do proxies, but we just haven't got the product yet. Apparently, no one within 150 miles of us has it. It happens. With that being said, hope you all enjoy.
Consequences of living in the most beautiful part of the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're testing and getting ready for Gen Con, and Toppo Lock is one of my favorite decks. Is a deck that I'm heavily considering for Gen Con. I still haven't made up my mind as to whether that's what I'm taking, but that's why I want to test the proxies, right? And we didn't get the anniversary box, so I'm just testing them. So we'll kind of go over that. I'm really interested to see how King Cold and Toppo work together.
That was just punishing. Turn 1 poutine.
Yeah, that's honestly, my hand was really bad opening up. And like, I think I opened Secret Rare, Super Combo, Poutine, Spirit Fist. So, and you actually see I charged my Secret Rare there because the rest of my hand is not worth charging. I feel like I'd rather get rid of the Secret Rare than get rid of one of my Super Combos.
As your opponent, that was such a flex. It's like, oh my god, he doesn't even respect me enough to hold the Secret Rare. I'm terrified.
And honestly, like, it was either like just pass my turn without charging, or charge Super Combo, or charge that. I literally did not have another good. Like, it didn't feel good as the Toppo player doing it. And then also, I didn't see the unison. I run 6 unisons in the main and didn't see either. Like, it's probably the brickiest hand I've ever opened in Toppo Lock.
Which really sucks, because if you had seen one, you could have been plussing off of me activating these extra cards, be it the Gogeta unison.
Yeah. I could have, or, you know, even if it was a Vegeta, I would have played it, and that might have stopped you from getting like a couple revived and reviled, or, you know, dropping your 5-drop early and getting in swings with that. Like, could have been really beneficial.
Yeah, so here I played that turn kind of wonky. Like, I could have played the field for free, but I just wanted to get full value out of Awakening and like spend as much energy I could before Toppo put the aforementioned lock on me.
Yeah, and honestly, both of us having experience with King Cold at the shop, like, there are just turns where you do that, where you just kind of like get full effect out of your energy as much as possible. I did luckily find the unison there. And then, of course, Bardock, you punished with Charismatic. Didn't feel terrible because I really just wanted the draw. I didn't care about the double strike on the field. I really just wanted the draw there. So, I'm trying to filter the quality of my hand. And this is kind of a test version of the deck. I'm not going to profile this version of the deck. If I do decide to take Toppo to Gen Con, I will profile the version that I take to Gen Con with a record of how Gen Con went. So, because the deck, even after this event, I tweaked probably 12 cards in the deck. So,
yeah, like, I've played King Cold on the channel a ton, and we have not really done a profile for the deck yet, and it's because I'm considering it so heavily for that event, and I don't think people would sideboard specific cards for specific players, but it just, you know, feels a little bit better to me to kind of go in that as a content creator, like playing a card game which is somewhat based on subterfuge, you know,
Yes.
Going into that event as a known quantity, I want to have some level of element of surprise in my list.
Absolutely.
I will add to that. That's actually why we haven't added profiles. Like last week was very low on videos, mainly because me and Papa are out of town, so we didn't get a lot recorded. But also because a lot of players lately have been playing their main decks, and they just don't want to show those off yet. Like I know Jimmy has some hidden spice he's been trying to hang on to that, to his knowledge, hasn't been shown yet. So,
yep.
And I still don't know what I'm playing yet.
And see, I'm kind of in the same boat. I wanted to have more time with Toppo Lock, and they pushed the anniversary box back. I'm not big on playing on Untap. I'd rather play in person. And I was hoping that we would have them by this weekend, but we didn't. So I just asked everyone, like, hey, for the sake of Gen Con, I'd really like to test these cards and get more practice in with them before I decide make the final version, because I'm honestly considering King Cold as well. I really think that deck is so well positioned in the format right now. It's definitely in the top 3 decks of the format, in my mind anyway.
I honestly, I just really enjoy it, and usually when I enjoy a deck for too long, it gets hit in some way. So I think I'm just gonna play it while it's still free. It still
Enjoy
has its
it.
wings, you know.
Yeah. Well, and King Cold is fun for a green deck. It's not the
Rip out your whole hand, yeah.
Right. It's fun to play against. It's not oppressively powerful. Like you can play through it. And even like de-incentivizes the usage of like hidden potential in the deck or dormant potential in the deck, because it just doesn't need it. The deck is ultra defensive on its own. If you kind of look at the topo field right now, a lot of the things that I'm doing are specifically to get various draws off. My hand, it was like the worst combination of draws, and so I'm just trying to cycle out cards that aren't doing anything for me in favor of cards that will do something or have a larger scaling impact in the game. And it's like every time I activate the Unison's effect, discard 2, draw 2, I'm like drawing the same 2 cards that I discarded, or I'm drawing 2 extra cards that don't do anything at the point. And I feel like Dragon Ball is like slowly becoming like Yu-Gi-Oh, where extra cards feel bad to have clogging your hand because they don't have combo power. Or maybe they're too slow, so they don't progress the game state during your turn in a lot of ways.
I think that's especially true of Yellow's extra cards as well, in particular.
Yeah. Unite Assemble, I am playing Unite Assemble and Chappelle in this deck. And I had like the perfect opening to use Unite Assemble against you, because you had to tap out on turn 1 to get your draw off the field. And then I was going first, so I was able to get 2 energy while you're tapped out on 1. And I just didn't see one. It was the only game all night that I didn't open a Unite Assemble in my first hand.
Yeah, it feels extra bad, especially because King Cold can be so responsive as far as like you playing battle cards. So like beyond that little turn 1 window, it's going to be really difficult for you to play a battle card that I really, really don't want you to play.
Yeah. And Green has got such a good ability to also take cards off the field as well, that it's just so good. Chappelle almost does no work in this match against you. And, we were talking about the state of that prior ban list. Like this situation right here that I'm in as a player, it's just showing why Unite Assemble is not that great. I'm never really getting full advantage off of it. They're clogging my hand. Here, I did play the proxy Topo, just to go over that real quick. He is a deflect blocker critical that plays for 4. And then when he's played, you get one of 2 effects. You can either give him 10,000 double strike, or if you don't have a Unison in play, you can play a Vegeta Unison of Fury with 3 markers on it. Then the Vegeta, lets you tap the Topo's other auto procs, which allows him to restand and then negate all of your opponent's battle card effects for the turn.
And you can see we pulled out my phone there just so we could both have reference of the cards of abilities and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do really love this combo. I think it's really strong. I just think it kind of changes. And I think that like maybe this combo might be better in the yellow Jiren deck than in Toppo Lock.
Maybe.
Just because like Jiren inherently will protect itself with Universe 11 or Universe 11 cards on the field. You know, you probably get to take advantage of the EX Evolve Toppo in subsequent turns type of thing. So it really is a toss-up as to which leader it's better with. And I will say generally, I have liked the Toppo in this list.
Yeah, I think in general it's a strong battle card. Just that particular situation there, being able to pop the Unstoppable Invasion to take the last marker off the Vegeta mid-combat was really huge for me in this game, I think.
Very huge. Definitely was a felt bad kind of moment because I kind of felt like that was me getting my second wind, an opportunity to try to get some damage in. And you were just like, yeah, Unstoppable Invasion there. And if that was the case, maybe I set on that Vegeta for a turn or just keep the Vegeta out and not try to activate that double strike, but just keeping a Unison that now has 4 markers on it out.
I would say, as someone else who plays King Cold, did it just slip your mind?
So King Cold has a very wide field and it has a lot going on. And as a player who's played King Cold, it can sometimes be overwhelming to keep track of what you have. Toppo Lock is a lot of the same. So you have, and even though like my current field isn't particularly complicated, there's a lot in my hand and a lot of thought thinking. And when I'm just looking forward, I just didn't see it. And it didn't like register like shit that takes a marker off my Unison. So I just kind of played into it, and it was my mistake. Like, and Jake expertly punished it.
I think that's what makes the field cards actually playable, is that they do something both when they come in and when they leave.
Yeah, it's a ton of advantage.
If they didn't have a lot of like extra effects on them like they do, if they just like enabled your other cards and drew you a card when they came in, I don't think this deck would be nearly as good as it is.
No. Because like the new ruler lets you control the quality of your hand. Unstoppable Invasion lets you rip a marker off. Terrified Realization doesn't really do anything. But then the Anticipated Onslaught lets you pop a 2 or less every time one of your fields is removed. So that effect comes up less often than the other two. But those are the two that you really want to cycle, because New Ruler gets you access to any green card. Unstoppable Invasion gives your leader double strike.
Yeah.
Those are the two that you want cycling turn in, turn out.
And with a New Ruler, like drawing a card and dropping a card when it leaves as well, like you said, you just get to even further increase the quality of cards in your hand.
Yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Here on my turn, I'm just trying to pressure and kind of fill out what I need to do here to try to get and put you in a position where I can kill you. I've got good double strike options in my hand, but I'm kind of looking at the size of your hand, the size of my hand, and I'm familiar with what King Cold hands look like as a King Cold player. And I know what my hand is like in Toppo. And I'm like, I don't think there's a world in which I get through damage unless I find a way to get more combo power and more battle power in my hand. So boarding the Gogeta here, +1, getting extra draws, trying to get the draw off Topo, doing what I can to get more draws. I feel confident in being able to survive this upcoming turn, but I'm not confident whatsoever in my ability to kill you.
I want to point out real quick, if I'm correct, this version of, because like I said, you've already changed this deck. You only played one of the 8-drop Gokus, right?
I only played one Goku.
So, like, Jake seeing that discard it with your 2 cards you discarded could kind of, like, make him believe you have that one in your hand or something like that.
Oh, it did. Oh, it for sure did. I was worried about that card for the remainder of this game and pretty much played as though he had it.
The only reason that I didn't go for that card specifically, because I've got a Divine Transformation Frieza and I've got a Shrouded Fu in hand, I decided to discard the 8-drop because I know Royal Supremacy exists. And Royal Supremacy is a free tap. It's not a battle card. It's not a Boo. It's not a Frieza. It's not a King Cold. There's more of a chance that I get negated by an extra card than a battle card. So having Divine Transformation and Scientist Food to me was more valuable than having that 8-drop. So Divine Transformation will let me tap 2 cards on Jake's side of the field and keep them tapped during the next turn, which will limit his ability to play throughout. And we'll kind of go through these next turns a little more in depth and kind of talk about where we are in our headspace with them. Because I think it's moved to Jake's turn, or it's about to move to Jake's turn.
I can't tell what's going on. Okay.
It's still fluff, sir. I think you're just getting your card set up, and you are attacking him currently.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's Jake just weakening your unison more in case he wanted to add the pressure. Oh, no. You took a life. Okay, it's Jake's turn.
Yeah, so there I was thinking about like all-inning and going for another double strike. As you see, I just bury and put the field back out. I didn't want to spend too much energy because yellow can tap me out there. And if I go all in, and Fluff does, although he's talking about not having a lot of combo or battle power, his hand is large, and I don't know that. So I was kind of afraid to go all in and put the double strike Kai on it and try and end the game there. And maybe in the future I should, because this next series of turns is pretty wacky.
Yeah. And you'll kind of see that Bancroft was actually sitting here during this turn. So I dropped the Fu really early in this turn because I wanted to turn your negates off. I didn't want you to have the ability to just get in or to turn off my swings. I wanted as much opportunity to turn off your cards as possible. And I know tapping myself to 1 with a Fu already triggers my Topo effect. So that's the last card that I'm going to play. I know I essentially have 1, 2, 3, 4 swings to attempt to deal 3 damage with you. And I just know the quality of the cards in my hand. Like, I Gojeted here. I Krillin super comboed just to try to shore up the quality of the cards in my hand. I'm even comboing the Poutine off just to do what I can. And I feel like if I go all in on any one of these attacks, you take the 1 damage, and then I can't deal the final 2. Which is why I'm comboing kind of light, knowing what your leader can do.
So I activate my field effect kind of early here and comboed off the Berry Blue because it doesn't have skills and won't during my turn either. So it was just an inexpensive way to get out of that 25k attack.
Yep.
Because Fu turns off skills, but not my leader's skills. So
correct.
I can still do his activate battle, which was really clutch.
So I'm sitting here thinking, like, I've turned off super combos, and I wasn't sure what super combos Jake used. And I think this is a really sharp meta call. And you'll see, because I'm expecting the Krillin super combos, which are 0-0. But if I'm not mistaken, you run the Paragus, which are naturally 0-10.
Exactly.
So they still get the plus 10,000, even under Fu.
Correct. And with Fu Shrouded running around, if you're in green, just go back to Paragus. The filter combos let you keep the card that you pitch. Like, you still have access to it. It's not in your warp. But it's not worth the trade-off of doing nothing if its skills are negated.
Oh, speaking of warp, Fluff did forget to move his cards to the warper. It's
fine.
I'm honestly a little panicked at this point and just realizing that there's no way that I can finish Jake off here.
So let's go over your discards and super combos. Because like I said, I was sitting right beside you. And you discard like a Kakotsa and like I think United Symbol. And you drew a Kakotsa and like another useless card that you could not combo with.
I discarded over the course of the turn prior and that turn every card that didn't have combo or some immediate usefulness behind it. Like if it wasn't Power of a Super Saiyan, or if it wasn't Fu or Divine Transformation Frieza, or just a cheap 5k combo or a super combo, I discarded it off of my Unison or super combo and just redrew the same number of non-usable cards again. Which doesn't happen frequently. But, you know, I got tilted because of the quality of my draws, and ultimately I panicked in that last turn, and I was talking to Bancroft about it. I should have just played Divine Transformation there, not pushed extra hard, and then just left stuff to do in my hand to be responsive during your turn, and given myself another turn to try to eke out your resources. Instead, I went hard with the Fu and comboed out every relevant card and just tapped myself out trying to kill you. And I think I just pushed too hard when I didn't need to.
Yeah, I think if that Fu came down a turn later with a Divine Transformation on the board, there's no way I survive.
Yeah. And that was me panicking because of the draws. So you played perfectly through it, and I got tilted there, which doesn't happen often with me, but it also kind of proves like how well Jake was playing that game. Like it was scary.
And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. Keep in mind, there's stuff down below to click on. There's stuff on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
Good job, Jake. You definitely earned that victory there. That's prime example of why you're one of the best players that play with us. But
Thank you.
Click on one of these 4 videos here if you haven't seen them. Hopefully it's something that you're interested in. We've got the RPO tournament going on. We've got a lot of other things that are coming your guys' way. As always, read your cards, know your plays, let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and Fluff out.